Hello and welcome to the Philippines. This video is about my expat life in the Philippines. Got no water for 2 days and some of the other challenges I've experienced. Like this fire over there, that's Persimmon condominiums right next door to it. That's a poor area, uh, just right next door. I think it displaced over 100 families, I believe, or down in that area, poor area. Boy, they go up. Happens. I think it happened 2 or 3 days in a row, and I could see it from my condominium. That is Persimmon condominiums right there. Originally it was two towers, and now just to the right, those are two newer towers. And I lived there for a number of months several years ago, and kind of a nice place. But like every place has its issues. Any place I've lived around the world, some are better than others. The location, the maintenance, different things. I've moved in the U.S. also a number of times because of noise, just like I've moved here 6 times because of noise. I have a friend that lives in those condos, and I think he's over on the north tower, so he's probably not getting most of that smoke there. And in the background, that tannish yellowish building is SM Mall in Cebu City. The other day coming home, there was a water truck pumping water up to the tanks. I believe they're up on the roof of the condominium building, and it reminded me that I should probably fill up some extra containers with water. Now, we had a super typhoon in December 16th, 17th of last year, and I have learned that it's a good idea to keep extra water because we had water issues back there, and the regular. In fact, still have a lot of stores closed because of the pandemic, because of the crisis lockdown for the last 2 years all over town. You see that. Anyway, I filled up some extra containers with water, and the next morning there's no water. There's no water. That was a day ago, and the second day there's no water. And turns out there's a pump apparently in the basement level that broke. And I've got a little bit of supply. This is not drinking water. This is the air conditioning, split air conditioning thing, and this was set up like this when I rented the condo a year ago. And I've learned to collect water from that dripping from the condenser, I guess. And I also keep, for drinking water, I buy these 5-gallon jugs, I guess, purified water apparently. And I before the typhoon hit, I went and bought 3 extra ones. I think we had 3 or 4, so now we've got about 6 or 7 containers. And I try to keep at least 3 of those full. And if I had to ration it, I could make that last for 3 weeks or a little bit longer. Now I had this white container there. I kept that full of just water for shower and that type of thing for many months. And then last month I dumped it out. I thought, well, everything's good. I don't need that anymore. So I should have filled that up as well. We are told that the pump broke that pumps the water, and that they're working on it. And not sure what the issue is, but apparently it flooded an area at the third underground parking area, flooded part of that area. I can take a shower and get some extra water at a friend's place. Got a business over by Mango Square if absolutely necessary. Hopefully they'll get that fixed. But anyway, that's some advice, not just here, but anywhere. To be prepared, be a little bit of a prepper. Water is the most important. To have clean water on hand, and possibly a water purification system as well. I'm going to share with you a few things I've been doing when I'm not doing videos, editing videos, and I've had these curtains for over a year that were supplied with the condominium, but the sun is changing its angle a little bit as the seasons change, and I'm getting This is facing east, so I always get sun there. But I bought those blinds, put them up, and I'm going to put some over in this other window as well, and it will help reflect some of that heat. And I can feel a difference already when I have those drawn in the morning. Some of you have watched my video about August 4th or so about water leaks. We had a big storm, and we've had a little bit of water on the bedroom floor a number of times, but nothing like this. It was just pouring in, and I could never determine where it was coming from. This particular case, there's nobody living above me in this condominium,
right where it's leaking,
and it's
okay.
So it's flooding above me, so it's probably flooding on most of the condominiums facing the south. And what happens is when there's a big storm and it's blowing hard from the south, these windows do not block the rain. I'll show you the rain coming in through the windows itself. And apparently the unit above me, there's nobody up there, and it's flooding through their windows, closed windows, and because the seals are not thick enough, are not doing the job. And this leak here is not related to the windows, I don't think. Maybe it is. But anyway, today I'm going to try to solve part of this problem. I'm going to put a bigger seal around that. Now, this has been a month since we reported this, and we haven't gotten any response from engineering or administration, but it's just basically pouring in here onto the floor. And part of of course, that's always a problem. But especially here, with a lot of the furniture is made out of particle board, and particle board just soaks up that water and disintegrates, basically, destroys it. So even early on, when I saw I was having a little bit of water, sometimes when it would rain hard, I put the bed, which the bed frame is particle board, I put it up on a couple of blocks so that it wouldn't be hit by the water. Well, I tried to figure out, and there again, even coming through the ceiling there. So somebody, is it ever going to be repaired? Is anybody going to address these issues? I don't know. As of this point, we haven't had any additional confirmation. As I stated earlier, we've got another issue without water. Too much water, and that's kind of the story of the Philippines. One reason why they don't, in many cases, they don't make enough food to feed their own people. There's either too much water or not enough water. We had a drought in 2015 and 2019, and then you get a typhoon that comes through and just floods. Anyway, these are the windows, and I'm facing basically the southwest a bit. And there is a seal. There's a rubber seal around there. At first, I thought there wasn't a seal along the top edge, but there is that rubber seal all the way around. But it apparently is not strong enough, is not thick enough to do the job. So I am going to try to clean that up. I'll clean the surfaces, and I'm going to try to put a thicker seal all the way around these windows as far as I am able to do that, and hopefully that will help solve the problem. Now, the problem above me isn't going to get solved unless they fix the problem up there, and I suspect pretty much all of these units that face that direction. And this is rubber seal, and I made sure to buy it thicker, the thickest stuff I could find, and it should help block out 8 millimeters, 5/16. It should help block out a little bit of additional noise as well. I've got a couple different types because there wasn't much available. There weren't not many choices like you might find in the U.S., perhaps parts of Europe, other Asian countries. A little bit limited on my choices. And here's some other weather stripping that I'll try that on a couple of the windows. Anyway, we'll see how it happens. Anyway, a couple other things that I've done. I've got a 360, a what they call a Lazy Susan. Purchased that on Lazada. 600 pesos maybe, not very much. Surprised. And there isn't one problem you have here, all the places 6 places I've lived, you don't have very much counter space. You don't have very much cupboard space. And I bought an extra cabinet or two for the place we live in now. But you've got an induction cooker taking up a big part. This is a dual system. We don't usually use both of them. I've always only had one in the past, but occasionally we do. So you had got one sink. This is normal. You get one sink. You don't get two like many of us are used to back in the States or perhaps in Europe. Not sure about the rest of the world. And then recently we have moved some things around too. I had a refrigerator that was sitting back against these windows, kind of blocking a lot of the light. Moved that to a different position, and we've got a cabinet there. I've got that oven. It's called a convection oven there on the left. That was right around 60 US dollars, I think, about 3,000, a little over 3,000 Philippine pesos. And then I just bought that unit just to the right of that. That is an air fryer, and having fun with that. So you use a lot less oil, and I only use extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and extra virgin coconut oil. I don't use any vegetable oils, and if you want to do your research about those things and why you shouldn't, there's lots of information online there. And until I get a proper shelf back in that corner, kind of use some of the wood that I had laying around to kind of jerry-rig a system there that's working out. But it really opens up the kitchen area because it's letting a lot of light in. Looks like a lot more space there. Where the Lazy Susan was a larger, a little bit of a square shelf that just took up a lot of room and didn't hold any more than what this Lazy Susan is. And we can turn it, and you can get it turns all 3 shelves, and you can get to what you want to much easier. And one other project, gardening. Well, I've got a balcony. It's a usable balcony, and I've got a couple plants out there. But I've been buying seeds. I've been picking up seeds in the hardware stores, different places you can get seeds for various things, parsley and all sorts of things. But I really didn't have a good place to plant them, and I keep thinking, how am I going to do this? And I went on Lazada online shopping place the other day, and I found some things I can hang on my balcony rails, and bought 3 of those. So I'm going to try to use that as a stand to plant more produce that I can eat, and we'll see how that works out. And these are little potting starter potting kit, I guess what you call it. So we'll start working on that. And then I bought a couple of these white oyster mushroom growing kits from Farm Joe. How about that for a name? Farm Joe on Lazada. They're again online shopping place here. An Amazon wannabe, but got a long ways to go. Anyway, they showed up in the directions, and kind of interesting. I've never done this before. Mushrooms are very healthy. Various types of mushrooms have different medicinal, nutritional values. Are you ready to grow your own gourmet mushroom from Farm Joe? Anyway, we're going to try that. It says to leave it in the box. I took it out of the box and read everything, then said leave it in the box. And there's a little squirt bottle. After you get things started, you give it a little squirt several times a day. And I guess that is the growing medium with the seeds, or whatever you call the mushrooms. And you can get several harvests out of that. And after a few days, it says to keep the box in a cold, moist area. Well, I'm in the Philippines. They shipped it from the Philippines. There's no such thing as a cold place unless you go high in the mountains, I guess. So anyway, I got it in the coolest place in the house, and there's a fair amount of moisture, I guess, relatively. Runs about 60%, according to my digital readout. and keep that for I think 3 to 5 days, and then you open it up. You soak that in water for a couple of minutes, and then you take it out and you cut the plastic bag a little bit and put it back in the box. Cut a hole in the box, and after a couple 2 to 3 weeks, I think you start getting oysters. You harvest that, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, I think you get another harvest. We'll see how that works out. Here is everything that comes in the box, including a little cutter uh, to cut the box open and to make a cut in the plastic bag. Um, so anyway, that's going to be an interesting project. I wasn't sure how much I was going to get out of it, how large this was, and I still don't know until we process it. So I bought two of them. Very, very inexpensive. Really surprised me. I think the shipping was probably more than the actual product. So I do stay very busy outside of taking video and doing video editing. I've got lots of projects always going on. Never bored, put it that way. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.